How we go to to Kanye?
Kanye. So I don't have a New York Times subscription, so I had to go through my wonderful institution at Morgan State University to
I
get
know
full text
that's how I
access.
got it too, was through my job. So
Okay, so I'll pull that up here. The story that broke yesterday or dropped yesterday: inside Kanye West's fraught relationship with Adidas, 7 takeaways. I have my one main takeaway.
hmm
That again, the headline, of course, that Jared was right. But what let me let you, where would you like to? How what did you get from this? And how much?
so
Or yeah, go ahead.
so the reason I sent it to you, right, was because my big issue with this whole thing with Adidas and Kanye and the whole scenario is this is really not so atypical, right? Like you get the person that gets boosted. They're making a ton of money off of the thing that they're getting boosted to sell. They are selling things in communities, in places where like this should, like the hundred and something dollar, 200 and something, I don't even know how much them sneakers cost. Like, guys, that should not be the focus given the situation of all the things that are happening. But there is like a 10-year history of him just wilding out within Adidas, right? And wilding out with like weird requests for Jews to do stuff with Hitler, pictures and commentary, having people watch pornography as part of their like process to I, I, create things. I just, I mean, it is a wild like explanation of what happened with him within Adidas, and it really makes you understand that these corporations and money makers, these billionaires, they are willing to do anything to make that profit, right? So they will sell Kanye as like the artist and the use his black face to make everybody think that they got to do this thing, and in the meanwhile they will absolutely be clear that he is running roughs and doing absolutely horrendous things and never ever, like, none of that is an issue, right? Like, it's okay for him to wear white lives matter shirts and to say that slavery was a choice and all the other like wild ass shit that comes out of his mouth, as long as the millions keep coming. And it made me think of you when I read it, because like this is what you talk about all the time, right? Like this is the core, this is one of the core problems, is that it is all about capitalism and making money and this false promise of power through buying power. And like it was like it was such a like a perfect storyline based on everything that you're trying to get people to understand. I was like, Jared got to read this. He's
Well,
got
I
to read this.
appreciate that, but that's not why I think it proves me right. The
Ah,
point, so and you covered it. The part where they said that for 10 years Adidas looked past his misconduct as he's having Jews kiss pictures of Hitler every day, as he's doing the porn and the making everybody. He's just got, apparently they're having meetings and he's just got porn playing in the background, and people are supposed to just my point is that when you now come out later to be like, oh, he's an anti-Semite. And then to the point that I was trying to get at yesterday with EYL and the ADL can now come out and say, oh, look at the rising black anti-Semitism. Let's fundraise. And then they can, and then everybody can start. Well, what do you think of Jews and blacks? What do you think of black people and Jews? Well, what about the Jew? And what did Kanye say? He's an anti. Do you think he's an anti? And my point is that if you really wanted to have a serious conversation, Adidas, whose founders have all kinds of interesting, because Adidas and Puma are founded by brothers, if I remember correctly, and they also have these a crazy history themselves with absolving Nazism and so on and so forth. But I have to double check that. But my real point is that if anybody really wanted to have an honest conversation about Black people and Jews, or the relationship of Jews to the political, why are Jews positioned in certain positions in the political economy? And if you wanted to have a serious conversation, it could be had, but instead you'd rather platform it in the context of a Kanye West so that we never have a meaningful conversation about it. And
That's
that we
right.
never can raise meaningful criticisms of everything. And then we could turn around and see what's happening right now in the world with people being even more confused, more susceptible, more easily dragged to one pole or the other because is it Kanye, or is it Amy Schumer, or is it
Dave Chappelle.
Chappelle, Mayweather? Like, what do they all think? What do they all think? Well, wait a minute. Why? Who gives a damn? No disrespect, but that's not their bread and butter. Politics, history,
Right.
political economy, so on and so on and so forth. There is a history of Zionism. There is a history of Jews in the United States that would explain. And so my point is, we could do all of these things without the vitriol and the ignorance and the confusion. But no, they want that. So when I'm reading this, I'm like, yeah, you loved it until it finally just burst through everything.
It was just too much. That was the last straw.
But then as they say at the end, they all come right back. But they had at least one more chance to keep making money together.
Right.
In May, the company
that $1 billion in inventory that they could re-release to sell.
$1.3 billion worth of Yeezys. A cut of the proceeds would go to charity. Most of the revenue would go to Adidas, and Mr. West is entitled to royalties.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm like, so y'all made us, we got to go through all of this madness about Jews, Black, anti-Semitism, oh. And then at the end of the day, you all walk off with each other's money.
Right. Yep.
That's what I was saying. I was
it's mind blowing.
I didn't even get to my own buying power stuff with this. I was just like, yo, this is just such nonsense. He's doing all of that for 10 years.
10 years.
And you don't say a word.
Nothing. It was making money. They're not going to say it. And it's, it's amazing to me. Not amazing to me. Let me not say it that way. It is always an interesting thing to point out how willing people are to let shit go as long as they're going to make money from it.
And then they make money from the opposite. Oh, we're losing money because he got caught saying something wild. Well, let's all get out here and condemn him for his anti-Semitism, right. and we'll make money off of that on the back end. We'll change, or we'll make political currency with it by having it distract anybody from meaningful criticisms of Zionism or colonialism or capitalism or buying power or race or class, or pick one.
Right. Pick one.
Yeah, that was like you, and then the New York Times gets to come out here and get more spin covering the story. Like you slick, you.
We've got years of text messages and email.
And then my daughter's getting called niggers in front of her school. Like, what y'all doing about that?
Wild.
I don't even care about nothing else.
I can't even, yeah, I got nothing on that one. I mean, it's and it's just gonna, it's gonna keep happening. This is like the unfortunate.
And these are middle schoolers types.
Oh yeah.
So their parents. I'm looking. It's the parents. Somebody asked where the kids at. I don't give a damn where the kids at. Where the parents at? You did that.
Definitely.
But sorry, Eddie. But yeah. Yeah, but fix that New York Times, fix that Adidas, worried about Kanye and whatever his nonsense is while y'all still out here making money. And I feel like 200 is low for those shoes. I feel like I've heard they were way more than that.
You know what? Listen, I'm trying not to get myself in trouble here. I don't know. I don't own none. I ain't buying none. And so, yeah. I have no idea. Somebody said
So
400 in the chat, so I'll take that as informational. Yeah,
must be crazy. Must
listen,
be crazy. Just on general purpose.
listen. I own sneakers that don't have one emblem on them. Nothing. They're like just plain old. Like people are like, "What kind of sneakers?" I don't know. I don't know. They sneakers. They comfortable.
I mean, I won't front. I might be a step up from that, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Nah.
Listen, I have not bought a pair of, and not that I don't own sneakers with stuff on them, but I found sneakers that were comfortable and they didn't have no brand on them. And I was like, you know what, I can rock these. I'm good with that. But I have not bought a pair of sneakers outside of an outlet store in 15 years, probably.